Neurosynaptic dissonance. Imagine a light bulb or a battery, both positive, negative charges flowing through a circuit, and at the end of the circuit is receptors that fire the signals back and forth. Well, the human brain is a battery, or a light bulb if you will, with both positive and negative connections. And at the ends of these connections in our brain, there's synaptic firings going back and forth millions of times per second. With every thought, you are creating dendrites and neuroconnectiveness and a neural network in your brain. We call them memories, experiences, habits, whatever. There's something happening in our world right now, and many of you maybe feel this and notice it in yourself. And you're definitely seeing it in the news, you're seeing it everywhere, of neurosynaptic dissonance, meaning the ends of our synaptic responses in our brain are misfiring. Literally, just like if you were to take a light bulb and intermittently switch the positive and negative, the light bulb would go out, the circuit would fail. Battery, same way. Swap the connections of positive and negative, what do you get? Nothing. It misfires. And when you only do it for a second, well, then there's only just a little bit of dissonance that occurs, and the connection's not made. A woman today walked into an auto repair place to get her car fixed. Apparently she had some problems with the service that was provided in her automotive needs, and she walked back into the shop and decided to pull out a gun and shoot the mechanic in the head and then turn around and shoot herself. This is neurosynaptic dissonance. We're seeing it everywhere. There's something that's happening in the universe, in the electromagnetic field, whatever it is. There's the energy that's here is being intermittently swapped, and this is what's giving us a feeling of anxiety, anxiety mostly. It's giving us mostly anxiety, fear, but it's also making us snap. It's also making people who were already unstable to begin with. I'm not claiming that everyone's stable anyway, but this neurosynaptic dissonance that's occurring because of the changes in the electromagnetic fields that are around us, some of this is artificial, some of it's universal. I don't know where it's coming from or why. I just know that I can feel it myself, and obviously I can see it in the actions and behaviors of those around me, like this woman in the news. You're going to see more of it. People are collectively losing their mind. And that's not a metaphor. Collectively, we're losing the ability for one thought to jump across the gap of our synapses, and this mismatched firing order is causing insanity, literally. You're going to see more of this. It's not going to stop. It's going to escalate on an exponential level, to the point where it may become difficult to even communicate, not only between people, but it will be difficult to communicate with yourself, because your brain is the receiver and it's misfiring. And mine too. I'm in this. I'm not above it. I can just see it, but I'm in it. And this is alarming, because when you speak to people anymore, you're starting to see the dissonance. You're starting to see that no matter what you say to them, they perceive it their own way. They do whatever they need to in their own brain and process it, and when they spit it out the other end, it could be completely different from your intentions. We can no longer convey our intentions anymore because of this static it's not in the air, it's in us. It's not something outside of us, it's happening inside of us. I just want to know, do you feel it? Are you aware of this? Do you see it in the behaviors of your friends, family, people around you? Do you see it in your own behaviors? Are you finding it difficult to concentrate? These are all aspects of neurosynaptic dissonance. And in my opinion, this is going to become exponentially worse. One of the things you can do to offset this, spending time with yourself, spending time in quiet. The media anymore has increased 10,000-fold in the last 5 years. We've got so much information coming at us, and every time an information comes at you, any information whatsoever, even me talking to you right now, for you to understand and comprehend the words and string together the concepts that I'm explaining, there's neurosynaptic firings happening in your brain. And if you speak Chinese and I speak English, then no matter what I say to you, those synaptic firings in your brain are not going to fire in order so that you get what we call understanding. You'll never get that. There's no way for a person that's speaking one language to explain something in another to a person in another language in a way that they're going to understand it. This neurosynaptic dissonance that's happening is causing this to occur even between people who speak the same language. So one of the things you can do is limit yourself to the amount of input that you're taking in, because I think that has an effect on it. When you have 10,000 bits of information coming at you all at once, that causes dissonance, in the brain anyway. And if this is already occurring on some universal natural level, then the worst thing you could do is take on more. So it might help to spend a little bit of time each day, more than normal, being away from it, being calm. One thing that will really help is realize that you're going to be dealing with people who are very unbalanced. Like I said, not everyone started off as balanced, okay? And now we're all going to become even more unbalanced. So you're going to meet people like this woman that was unhappy with the service of her car. And so that information occurring to her, the firings in her brain all fired in an order that the most likely thing to do, the thing that made the most sense to her, was to pull out a gun and shoot this guy in the head and then shoot herself over the service that was rendered on her car. In any stretch of logic, if you can piece that together, drop me a comment, let me know if I'm missing something. I mean, maybe she's right, and that was an appropriate response for something. I don't know what the bill was. Hey. Point is be aware that you're going to encounter more and more people who have completely lost their mind. When I say lost their mind, I mean they've lost the ability to process information in their brain, because these misfirings are going to exponentially increase for all of us. Might be a good time for us to take a breath and really think about things on a level before we act, because all of us are going to be put into pressure situations, and without the logical firings in our brain, this world is quickly about to become insane. I'm ICP Chad. Thanks for listening.